Hi everybody, it's your buddy Brad here, and today we are going to take a look at a new feature in the recent release of JWildfire 7.20, and that feature is the Zbuffer. Um, what's kind of cool is that what you can, at least with Facebook and some other services, you can take a Zbuffer image and a regular image, and you can combine them to add depth to your image. I will go over what a Zbuffer is more here in just a little bit, but here are some example images that I've done already. So here's one. It's a just a random bubble, and you see you can move your mouse around and kind of move in three-dimensional space. Here's another 3D image that I made. And another. Here I think it really shows off the depth quite well. And then you can even do it with partially 2D images, but you can make them 3D, and we will also go into that a little. And so let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to do a new from scratch. We're going to select a square 3D. Going to add a linear. Just do something simple here. But then we are also going to rotate it. Switch to the YZ plane. Let me make the square a little bit bigger here. And increase the weight on the linear. So now, you see, if we look at it this way, it's a flat image, but if we rotate the pitch, then it gives us a 3D image with depth. And now we're going to bring this down some. Let's go ahead and zoom in. And let's change color on it. What the heck? Let's go ahead and there we go. And so now the way you can access the Zbuffer information, you go to the 3D rendering tab. Then here at the end you have a Zbuffer tab, and you select that. For the file name, at least for doing the Facebook 3D photos, you want to have this here, name underscore depth selected. That's how Facebook wants their Zbuffers named. Zbuffer bias, sometimes if an image is too dark and it's too high of a contrast, you can adjust this and it will get rid of some of the separation, kind of like here, like you can see some separation that's not doesn't go along with the image because it's too far out, and so the logarithm kind of distorts it in a funky way. But you can do that, use that to help with that. And then we have the Zbuffer scale and the Zbuffer shift. From what I can tell, the this one changes the Zbuffer as a whole, and here is scale is applied to the Zbuffer before exporting it. Positive values equal black background, and then white near the camera, negative values, and vice versa. So you actually want to have it as a positive, and well, the easiest thing to do is just hit this suggest params, and then you will see here it is rendering or trying to guess the best settings for your image. So you just wait a moment, and now it has given us these numbers. It actually looks pretty decent. So let's hit the render preview. Okay, so now here is our Zbuffer, like a preview rendering of our Zbuffer. So you see how this square is lighter, and then this square gets a little darker, a little darker, a little darker, then a little darker, and then it keeps coming around, and then this starts to get lighter and lighter and lighter, and then darker again. And so if you were to turn it like flat, the bottom layer is black. The very highest layer is totally white. So everything in between gives it the depth. So that is why this is a little darker than this, because this square is closer than this square, and then this square is furthest away. That's why it is the darkest. And then second, you will need to make sure that you have Zbuffer enabled in the quality profile. I'll show you what I mean by that. So I've actually created my own profile. So I have 500 quality, and then I just added a Z at the end, so that to me means Zbuffer. And here, if you can hit edit, you need to have with Zbuffer checked in order for it to render a Zbuffer image. And so that's okay. And so what I did, so here, this one doesn't have the Z, it will not give you a Zbuffer image. So I know this one here will give me a Zbuffer image when I render. And I'm going to just make this a little smaller. And also it works with regular and GPU. Let's make sure. So if we had enabled GPU, go ahead and render. I'm going to make a file name. That should render in no time at all. That didn't give us the Zbuffer I was expecting. Let's go ahead turn off GPU and do another render here. Of course, it will take a moment to come up. Okay, so now it has rendered, and it gives us two images, the colored image and then the Zbuffer image. And so let's go to Facebook and give it a try. So what you want to do is hit photo video, and you want to select both images. So I'm selecting the depth map and the original. And if you notice here, here's the name of my image, and here's the name of it, _depth. And like I said, that is what Facebook needs in order to make its 3D photos. And then you hit open. And then Facebook will work its magic. And this is going to be in the best JWildfire group on Facebook, JWildfire Open Group. Now you see, if we can click on it, and you see how it gives us the movement now. I see we have like a little bit of gray, like if you watch this area when moving. You could probably get rid of that by using the Zbuffer. Bias. But that's for you to play along with. And then that is actually about it. It's that easy, that simple. You just need to have a good 3D fractal in order to make it work. And next, I'm going to show you how to take a flat image and make it have depth. So here's a fractal I made, and if we hit the pitch, you see it is totally flat. Okay? Actually, we're going to go back to that. Let's set it to just 87. You can select Add Final, and then Post, Color Scale, and then set this. I'm going to set it kind of high, 5, and then you need to bring it back down. Bring it down some more so we can see it. So now you see it is a very three-dimensional fractal now, based on coloring. And then hit reset. Now we can't have it set, the pitch set to 0, because then it will still be white and we won't have any depth at all. So you want to select pitch, and just hit up one time just to have just a little bit of depth. And then, so if you go back to the Zbuffer, hit suggest params. I've noticed that sometimes when I do the suggest params, it doesn't quite give me the definition that I want. So a lot of times I end up having to increase the Zbuffer scale. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. And so now we can see like this part here is nice and white. This part here is a little darker. And this here is a little darker here. And so if you look at this, was the image with the depth map. And you see how this part is closer than these parts back here. And that is pretty much it on how to use the Zbuffer. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm always open to your questions, and hope to hear from you soon. Till next time, bye.